welcome everyone to this Lights of Dedication flow. If you have a candle, your favorite candle perhaps, bring it close to your mat. And there's a teaching from the Zohar of the different colors of the flame and how they correspond to the different levels of our body or realms or energetic fields. So bring the candle close, and first we'll gaze at the wick. The wick corresponds to the lowest level of the soul, known as the nefesh, the functional self, the enlivening self, sometimes represented by just the physical body. So looking at the wick and asking yourself how your body is today. Noticing that feeling of enlivening consciousness in the body. And then looking at the lowest point of the flame, the blue part of the flame. This is our ruach, translated as spirit, and this is our emotional consciousness. So checking in with your emotional content. And ruach also means breath. So feeling the pathway of the breath as it enters, carves a path, and exits your body. And right above that blue flame, we have the black, that very subtle line of the black part of the flame. This is the neshama, the intellectual soul, the level of thought. Noticing how your thoughts are today, what's passing through the chamber of your mind. And then seeing the whole flame together as one, that whole giant flame unified. That's the Chaya, our transcendent soul. That's our life itself. And that's when all the parts of ourself are in harmony, swaying together. And just notice that subtle sway of the flame, the running and returning, the gentle movements. Maybe you hear a flickering sound. What does the dance of the flame teach you or whisper to you? And right above the Chaya, we have the highest level of the soul, the Yechida, the unity consciousness, the oneness. That is the translucent aura around the whole flame. Seeing that very gentle aura of light encompassing the whole flame. And set the candle down, close the eyes, and feel that same aura of light, that Yechida, circulating your entire body. Feeling the body as the flame and the Yechida aura totally embracing us, encompassing us. Like a warm light wrapping around us. And perhaps you begin to sway the body like a flame, right and left, or in circular motion, keeping the eyes closed. Ascending up through those levels of the soul. First, the nefesh, the wick of your body, that physical functional self. Feel that as you sway. And then that blue light of the ruach, your emotions, your breath moving in this swaying motion. And the neshama, feel the thoughts, the brain, the chaya, the whole body as one, and that yechida wrapping around you. This analogy also unifies our body and our soul, the body being the wick that's coarse, that's descending downwards to the mat, and the flame that's swaying and reaching upwards, ascending and yearning for spiritual connection. And that wick that brings the flame and keeps it in the candle. That's the unity of body and soul. Let's lift up onto the heels in a seated position, keeping that analogy of the wick and the flame, feeling that unity in the body, and reaching the right arm up and over, bending the right elbow, and then the left fingertips to reach for the right. Pull the elbow tips away from each other and sink the hips into the heels as the chest expands and the heart opens. If your fingertips do not touch, you can hold on to your shirt in the back or use a strap or a scarf. And notice where in the body feels light, expansive, open, like the flame, and where in the body feels darker, more coarse, more physical, maybe a little bit more restrictive, like the wick. Mentally scanning through the body. Let's release the fingertips, open the palms, and switch hands. The left arm reaches up and over, right fingertips meet if you can, or hold onto your shirt, a strap. Let the shoulders drop and open the elbows away from each other, expanding through the chest. If you have your candle in front of you, you can gaze at the flame, listen to their story. Release the fingers, shift the weight of the hips onto the right of the heels. Left fingertips come to the left hip, nice and wide, and sweep the right arm up and over for a nice side body stretch. Opening up that right expanse, inviting in light, hope. And release the hands. Lift back onto the heels and come to the other side, onto the left of the heels. Pads of the fingertips extend right from the sit bones and sweep the left arm up and over, expanding that left side body. Pulling in light with your breath. As in Psalms, the candle of God is the flame of man. Or maybe the flame of God is the candle of man, excuse me. So that light in us that connects to our source and the light within all creations. And release the hand. We'll come into all fours. So spread the 10 fingers, press into the knuckles, knees under the hips. Drop the belly, inhale, gazing forward, shoulders back towards the hips. Exhale, curve and round the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the hips. Exhale, press into the palms, curving the spine. Few more times like this. Warming up the body with your breath. And we'll go ahead and step the right foot to the outer edge of the mat, sinking the hips nice and low. Coming into a runner's lunge here. You can be on the palms or you can descend all the way down to the forearms. Sink the hips, maybe rock them right and left or circle the hips. If you have a block, that can also be helpful to raise the floor a bit here. And lift back onto the palms if you're not there already. Turn the torso to the right and press into the inner right knee. Push that leg away from you. Come onto the outer edge of the right foot. Mentally scanning the parts of your flame from the nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, and yehida. Every posture, we have all of these levels we can delve into. Bring the hand back down and scoot the foot into the middle between the hands. Keep the hips really low and then hands onto the top of the knee. Press the torso away from that front leg. Lift the crown. Rabbi Eliezer teaches, he has a meditation group, or he had, called Sukkot Shalom, that at all times there's a flame above our head. This is the Shekhinah, the feminine divine presence that is glowing above the crown of the head. So become aware of that space above the crown, gaze upwards, and perhaps lift the arms high. Keep sinking the hips low, reaching upwards, feeling that duality between the wick and the flame, the body and the soul. And then hook that right thumb over the left. Pull the shoulders apart, lift the fingertips to deepen that chest expanse. Nice, release the palms down to the mat. Lift the left knee up, step it forward into a fold. Bring the feet hip width distance, palms onto the ground, and let the spine lengthen and grow towards the mat. Bring in that sway of the candle flame right and left. That dance of the candle is the story of light over darkness. And bend the knees and inhale, lifting up your light, reaching to that flame above the crown. Exhale, hands to the heart. If you have any pockets of coldness, pockets of darkness in the heart, let's inhale that warm light into the heart and exhale as that light swirls, expands through the whole heart space. Every breath warming your cold heart. Release the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, dive forward, palms to the earth. Inhale, flat back. Feel that warm heart floating over the ground. Maybe that warmth expands through the whole chest and around to the back of the heart. And that's what the menorah represents, increasing light, expansive light, every day expanding. Release palms down, step it back into all fours. Take a few cat-cows here to neutral out the spine. Neutral spine here, and then step the left foot on the outer edge of the mat. Sink the hips, come onto palms if you have a block next to you, or onto your forearms. Swing the hips right and left, or in circles. And if this hurts your knee at all, you can always roll up your mat for some extra cushioning, or bring a blanket under the right knee. Scanning that body where feels light, expansive, and perhaps where feels more restrictive and dark, closed. Let's lift back onto the palms if you're not there already. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left knee. Push the leg away as you shift your weight to the outer edge of that left heel. Torso spins to the left. So you're pushing the leg away and you're also reaching the torso back. Deepen into your breath. You can always close your eyes and visualize that flickering flame, returning your focus. Yes, and bring the hand forward, scoot the foot between the hands, sink the hips really low, hands onto the top of the knee. You can interlace the fingers, press the leg away from the torso, open through the chest, return the awareness to that divine flame, the Shekhinah above the crown. Some of us may feel sensation there. And if not, Rev Pinson says, just lift the chin and kindly ask the divine feminine presence, the Shekhinah, to reveal herself to you. The simple ask, an invitation. And reach the hands above us. Left thumb hooks over right. Pull the palms apart. Reach through the fingertips. Expanding light through the chest. Nice. Release the palms down to the mat. Right knee lift, step it forward and fold. Palms to the mat. Sway that flickering flame right and left. And there's a part of the flame that's always moving, that's always dancing. And if you look really close, there's always a part that's totally still and centered. So slow your movement down to a place of stillness. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise up to standing, feet grounded to the earth, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now we'll take some vinyasa flows, and each one will be a dedication. Hanukkah means dedication. Traditionally, we are dedicating ourselves to the Holy Temple. There's an external dedication, but many Rebbes say that this outside temple also represents the inner temple, our very first home, our very first sacred space, which is the temple within. And now that we don't have the temple standing, we get to, on Hanukkah, rededicate ourselves to our inner temple. So let's bring the hands to the heart. And this first vinyasa will be a dedication towards our nefesh, our body. Let every gesture be a prayer, a rededication to your body, this vessel that holds your soul. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale with devotion, palms to the earth. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, palms to the mat. Step it back into a plank posture. True dedication of the body in plank. Expanding the light through the core. Really taking care of all parts of the body. And part of dedication is if you need to bring the knees down, you can also be kind to yourself. Know your limits. Let's descend all the way to the mat. Press the heart down. Feel that sense of gratitude towards your nefesh, your body, your enlivening functional self. Press palms into mat. Inhale. Lift the chest off the floor. Tops of feet heavy. Elbows in. Reaching the crown up. And tuck the toes. Exhale. Hips up and back. Sink the heels. 3 breaths here. Dedicating every breath to your body. And we learned that Adam and Chava in the Garden of Eden, they had note or bodies of light. And when we gaze at the menorah, we're remembering that our bodies shone with this inner light of the soul. Our body and soul were so harmonious. We're coming back to that place of note or bodies of light with every breath. Let's bring the feet together. Inhale, right leg behind you. 3-legged dog. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Pull the knee up towards the heart. Exhale, send it back like you're pressing the foot into a wall. And inhale, gaze forward and step the right foot all the way through. Exhale, left heel down for setting up for warrior 1. Inhale, hands above the crown. Exhale, hands to the heart, a dedication to your nefesh. Inhale, sweep the hands high, flip the palms. Exhale, interlace the hands as you come into a humble warrior. What does it mean to rededicate ourselves to our body, to our vessel? Release the palms. Inhale back into warrior 1. And exhale, palms to the mat. Lift the left heel and twist to the right, reaching the fingertips high. Keep the left knee lifted, press into the left heel. Energize your twist. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step the left foot forward, crown towards the mat. Starting that sway like the flame, and slowly that sway finds a place of stillness. Bend the knees, inhale, hands over the crown. Exhale, hands to the heart. This next side on the left, we'll dedicate this flow to Ruach, our emotional self, our breath. Let every breath be directed to our inner temple, this inner space, that is never defiled no matter what. It always has a drop of that pure oil that they found in the temple. Release the hands. Inhale above us. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, direct that breath to your inner temple. Exhale, palms to the mat, plank posture. Energize the core here and descend all the way to the mat. Tops of feet heavy on the ground. Inhale, lift the torso. Peel it up. Exhale, tuck the toes, hips up and back. Sink those heels. 3 breaths here. It says in Tehillim, let all beings, every breath praise. So every breath should praise our inner being, that inner temple. We can visualize our breath as a color of light, be one of those colors of the flame, the very lowest blue, black, or the red, the orange, the white, the translucent. Bring that color into the breath. Let's kiss the feet together. Inhale the left foot behind you. Exhale, left knee into the chest and hover. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, gaze forward, step it through. Right heel lowers down, setting up for warrior 1. And inhale to rise. Every breath, a rededication towards our inner pure self, the holy temple. Flip the palms, interlace the hands, and humble warrior. Release the fingers, sweep it up back into your warrior 1. Exhale, palms come down, lift the right heel, turn to the left and reach. Deepen your breath. The ruach, that spirit that sweeps through our whole being with divine consciousness. And palms to the mat. Step the right foot forward and fold. Inhale to rise. Palms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll take that slow breath to movement on each side. This next level on the right will be the level of neshama, which is our thoughts, our intellect, that all thoughts should be directed in this flow towards the rededication of our inner temple. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, palms to the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step it back, plank. Inhale, chaturanga this time. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, right leg lift. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Inhale, extend the leg behind you. Exhale, step it all the way through. Sink that left heel down and then sweep the hands up, warrior 1. 1 breath here. Exhale, humble warrior. Channeling your thoughts towards your inner temple. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, palms to the mat, lift the heel and twist. Circle it down, step the left foot forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise, elevating all of our thoughts towards purity, holiness. Exhale, hand to the heart. This left side will be the level of the Chaya, which is the all-inclusive self, bringing all of our parts together like one full flame. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, all of your parts, unifying, pressing down into the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step it back, plank. Chaturanga on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee into the chest. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, step it through. Right heel lowers. Inhale, warrior one. Flip it. Exhale, humble warrior. Feeling humbled by our Chaya, our transcendent self, which literally translates to life. Release the palms. Warrior one. Exhale, palms to the mat. Lift the right heel and twist. And exhale, hand to the mat. Step it forward and fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to the heart. We'll step the feet nice and wide into a star pose. So the highest level of Yechida is that aura of light all around us. So feel just like the flame has that translucent aura of light. Feel that circulate all around you. Feeling just like you're a beacon, a beam of light. And bring the hands to the heart and sink into the hips. For temple pose, perfect posture to rededicate ourselves to our temple. You can open the palms. And let's say to ourselves out loud, I am light. I am vast. And I am expansive. Back to star pose. Big inhale. And exhale back into temple pose. Let's say it one more time. I am light. I am vast. I am expansive. Star. Hands to the heart and dip to that right knee, bending to the right leg. Back to star. And bend into the left leg, hands to the heart. We'll go one more on each side. To the right. You can go a little bit deeper this time. And to the left. Back to star. And we'll come all the way into that right side. The foot can be on the ground if possible. If not, that's okay too. Imagine you are kicking something with that left foot, flexing the foot. Right heel extends and bring the hands to the heart. If you'd like to take a bind here, wrap the arm around the leg and hold the fingertips together for a bind. Take 3 breaths here. Beautiful, beautiful. And from the bind, we can release the right arm, extend it, lift the left arm high. And using your leg strength, come back into star pose. I am light. I am vast. I am expansive. And let's dip all the way into the left side. Open that right foot. And wrap the left arm around for a bind if you can. Bend through the right foot and lift the right shoulder up. Peel it away from the chest. Notice where in the body you feel light and expansive. And release by extending the left arm wide, sweeping the right arm high, bringing the hands to the mat, lifting the hips and coming into a forward fold. Crown towards the mat, hands right below you. And then we'll walk the hands to the right, pull the right cheek into the inner leg. Deepen here, and if you want, you can also take a bind, reaching the right arm up and over that left hip. Breathe deeply here. Feeling every breath illuminate your inner temple. Release the hands to the mat and walk them to the left ankle. Pull yourself to the left leg and perhaps take a bind by reaching the left arm up, wrapping it around the hip, pulling yourself towards that left leg. Release it down, palms to the mat, and then walk the hands to the front of the mat. Step it back into a downward facing dog. Bring the knees down. We'll come into a melting heart pose. Walk the hands forward, bringing the elbow tips to the mat. Rest the forehead down, melt the heart towards the mat, and bring the palms over the crown. Feeling a deep opening in the front of the heart space and flickering the fingers like candle flames above the crown. Igniting flames of energy above the crown. Release the palms down and sink the hips back towards the heels, forehead onto the mat, child's pose. What does light represent to you? Pondering this question, and what does light feel like in your body? And we'll take a variation of child's pose, which I've been loving this week, bringing the knees together, wrapping the hands around the back of the heels and pressing the forehead down, letting the elbows drop to the mat. So all the energy circulates the body. There's no limbs that are loose that let the energy out. It's like a full circuit, keeping that warmth within. And in this posture, I want to remind us, if you don't know this teaching from the Zohar, that says when we are a fetus in the womb, similar to in this posture. Above the crown of the baby's head is a flame known as the Or Haganuz. And this Or Haganuz, which translates as the hidden light, is the all-knowingness that the fetus receives all the wisdom in the world from this Or Haganuz. And it's that light that the baby can see from one end of the world to the other. When we light the flames on Hanukkah, we are revealing the Or Haganuz, the hidden light of creation. This is a light that is deeply connected to our primordial knowledge. We know what it is, we've felt it, we've lived with it in the very first home we had in our womb. Let's reach, extending the arms above us. And then lift onto the shins. Bring the shins hip width distance. You can lift the heels, tucking the toes, squeezing the shoulders together, and then reaching the hands towards the heel. Stay right here if this is intense for you. If you want to puff up the chest, lift the chin, open the throat, and breathe. And to release from the pose, bring one hand onto the low back and the other hand come back into child's pose. Press the forearms down and slide the chest forward into Sphinx posture. Hugging the elbow tips back towards the hips, peeling the chest forward and up. If light in your body was expressed as a color, what color do you most resonate with right now? See that color of the flame as you breathe it in. Notice where that flame, that breath of light enters in the body, where that breath of light takes a pathway and where it exits the body with your exhale. Release the chest to the mat. Spread the hands forward and we'll lift all limbs off the ground for a Superman pose. Igniting all the muscles of the back. And then drop all the way down. Slide the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, and push yourself up into a plank. Lift the hips up and back, sinking the heels. Rock it forward, back to plank. Descend all the way down to the mat. Reach the arms forward, the legs behind you, and lift Superman. And let the feet and palms descend. Slide the hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, push yourself up, plank, float the hips up and back as you sink the heels. We'll do that one more time. Rock it forward, plank. Descend all the way to the earth. Extend the arms forward, lift the heels and palms. Exhale, release, slide it back, tuck the toes, push yourself up, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We'll come into pigeon. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee to outer right wrist. Sinking the hips here, coming onto the forearms. If you have a block, you can place the block under the forehead. And I want to remind us of the very first festival of light. Every holiday is sourced in the Torah. So what is the source of Hanukkah? The Gemara tells a fascinating story. And it says that when Adam was experiencing his very first winter, the days were getting colder and darker and shorter. And he reached the month of Teves, Kekupas Teves, which is the winter solstice, the darkest and coldest, shortest night of the year. And Adam, the very first human, thought that the world was ending. Naturally, he saw every day the world's getting darker, it's going to end. So he was more and more depressed and distraught, and he cried. He thought the world was ending. He fasted, he prayed. And then the very next day after the winter solstice, a tiny glimmer of light returned. And then the next day, it expanded even more. And every single day, more and more light. He saw that the world was not ending, but this is the way of the seasons. First, there's darkness, and then there's light. And this, then he celebrated for 8 days, this expansive light that every day more and more sunlight happened from the very darkest point in the calendar. This is the very first Hanukkah. This is our celebration that within our darkest depths, light will always return, expand, and illuminate our very darkest places. Let's lift up onto the palms. Tuck the left toes, step it back into a downward facing dog. And simply coming onto the other side, inhale the left leg high. Exhale, left knee to outer left wrist. Pigeon on this other side. As we're cooling down, getting ready for final Shabbat pose. Sink the hips down. Celebrating your inner Hanukkah, a time that you've felt expansive light from the darkest places. Nice. Let's lift up onto the palms and wrap the right foot forward, the left foot forward. Powering the legs down into the mat. Inhale the right hands high. And exhale, fold forward. Reaching the heart towards the toes and exhaling into your being, into your inner temple. No matter how defiled or chaotic our life gets, we have that pure drop of oil, that place that is never tainted, that's always connected to our source, that's always pure and beautiful and holy, tapping into that place. And let's roll all the way onto our backs. If it's cold where you are also, you can bring a blanket for a final meditation on light. Extend the legs in front of you. And bring the palms to anywhere in the body that you may have noticed in the flow today that felt that darkness, that felt constricted or blocked. simply bring your hands there as a reminder of inviting in warmth and light to that place. And let's bring to mind the visual of a flame, a single flame in the mind's eye. And set that flame in the forehead space. In Kabbalah, it's known as da'as, our awareness. Planting that flame in the forehead, feel your mind brighten with this light. See the flame, and then travel that flame down from the forehead into the throat. This is the bridge between the head and the heart, our throat, which is the great connector and the communicator. Feel that flame warm up and bring light to the throat expanse. And draw the flame down into the heart space, warming up a cold heart, warming up a dark heart. Feeling your heart expand and shine. And draw this heart flame down into the low belly, into the womb. That womb that, says the Gemara and the Zohar, when we are in the womb, in this place, the flame was hovering above our heads. This is the place where we first saw the Or HaGanuz. Bringing the light here into our womb, into our low belly, our breathing center. And noticing any part of the body that needs extra flame or extra warmth, take that candle and bring it, let it travel to any pocket, any corner of the body that needs some light. See your whole body illuminated and lit like the menorah, a body of light. The Kotnot Or, just like in the Garden of Eden, when our bodies shined with the light of our souls. Feel your body with this harmony, with this unity. Then reach the arms behind you and roll onto the side, lifting up into a seated posture. If your candle is still lit, bring it to your face. Watch the flickering dance, see the colors, and let every flame on the menorah bring you deeper to rededicate yourself to your inner temple, reminding of that movement, of the growth, the process and progress, and also the stillness and the quiet, the center, that place in us that's connected to our source at all times. We'll take 3 breaths of light to end our practice. Inhale, pulling this flame into our breath. And exhaling it into the body, warming up the body. 2 more. Inhale, see the flame and pull it in, inviting this warmth and light. And exhale, sending it down the body. Last one, inhaling the light and exhaling it as a wash of light through the body. And by bringing the hands to the heart, asking yourself, what are you dedicated to, or what are you rededicated to this season? Thank you for practicing and have a beautiful, beautiful holiday season.